Yo, what is going on YouTube? What's going on everybody, man? Welcome back to the channel. How you guys doing out there today, man? Welcome back. So we're back here with some more David Bowie. Gonna be checking out Young Americans. This one's been suggested on the channel, man. Look forward to getting into it. By this point, we've got maybe about 3 David Bowie reactions or so. Feel free to hit up the playlist that I got for David Bowie. I try to make a playlist for about everybody I react to, so hopefully you can find that. If not, just search on the channel. You can find some David Bowie, man. But right now, we're jumping into Young Americans. Don't know where we're going with this song, but me being an American, it has my interest, my intrigue. Okay, I don't know if we're building us up or putting us down. We'll go ahead and see. Young Americans, man. Let's go ahead and hit play and see what Mr. David Bowie is talking about, dishing out right here on this one. Here we go. Okay, straight into business. That's a fun tune.
But pulled in just behind the bridge, he lays her down. He frowns, gee, my life's a funny thing. Am I still too young? He kissed her then and there. She took his ring, took his babies. It took him minutes, took her nowhere. Heaven knows he'd have taken anything. All night. She wants a young American.
Young American, young American. She wants the young American. All night.
But she wants the young American. Standing right through the picture window, she finds a slinky vagabond. He coughs as he passes, avoiding the sting. But heaven forbid she take anything but the freak and his title for nothing. This is a step and cuts his hand, showing nothing. It swoops like a song, she cries. Where have all Papa's heroes gone?
All night.
She wants a young American.
Young American.
I like David singing on this.
The young American. All right.
Well, she wants the young American. All the way from Washington. Her breadwinner begs off the bathroom floor. We live for just these 20 years. Do we have to die for the 50 more? And all night, he wants the young American.
Young American.
So
Young American. He wants the young American.
all right,
All right.
but he wants the young American.
Oh, here we go.
Do you remember your President Nixon? Do you remember the bills you have to pay, or even yesterday?
What is that?
Have you been on America? Just you and your idle civil set so loud. Leather everywhere, and not a miss left from the ghetto. Well, would you carry a visa? Just in case of depression. Sit on your hands on the bus of survivors, blushing at all the Afro-Sheeners. Ain't that close to love? Well, ain't that close to love? Well, it ain't that far to door. Her heart's been broken just like you and all night. What the young American,
Young American.
young American.
You want the young
All
American.
right,
All right.
This thing was lively. This track right here is so alive, full of life, okay? I've loved everything I've heard from David Bowie so far, but if I'm looking at some of the tracks that we've done, right? Space Oddity, and then you're looking at Ashes to Ashes, okay, and Fame, which are ones that I've done. This vibe is closer to Fame than the other two, but this one stands on its own, as each one has, right? Each piece is different, man. It's like looking at a chessboard. You got your rook, you've got your pawn, you've got your king, you got your queen, right? These are different pieces of art that David has produced here. This one being the most lively, I would say, in the sense that you could really move and dance to this thing right here. It's full of life and body, man. The music was very infectious, very fun to listen to. David is opening up and actually just singing all over this track, but in the midst of it, I missed the meaning, so I'm gonna look into the meaning. I was trying to really pay attention to the lyrics while absorbing the music, and I seem to have been more absorbed in the music where I wasn't catching the lyrical content. I heard this and that there. I don't know if it's fully a political piece, but I did hear some of that. So let's jump into some of that, but just a track full of life, man. I think you guys are feeling that on your end too. This thing was breathing. All right, so let's look into Young Americans a little bit right here. Okay, we've got the song coming out in 1975. Okay, considered soul, Philadelphia soul, and R&B. Very interesting. You got the songwriter David Bowie right here pinning this one up on his own. Young Americans is a song by English singer-songwriter from his 9th studio album of the same name. It was mostly recorded in 1974, but was debuted on his tour the following month. All right, the song featured contributions from then unknown singer Luther Vandross. I've heard of Luther Vandross' name. Actually, there's rappers that give him a shout out in their songs, so I've heard of Luther Vandross' name. Don't know, I'm sure I've heard something, but I couldn't tell you if I've heard something from him. Who conceived the backing vocal arrangement. It's an embracement of the R&B and Philadelphia soul. The song presents an Englishman's impressionist portrait of America at the time, featuring various characters and allusions to American totems and events. All right, a little bit about the music and lyrics. It says, Young Americans was a major musical departure for David Bowie. Following years of glam rock and hard rock releases, the song represented a full embracement of the R&B and Philadelphia soul sound of the mid-1970s. Bowie himself referred to the sound as plastic soul, discussing the stylistic departure in his book Starman, the definitive biography. Arthur Paul Trinka describes the song as a statement of intent, wherein Bowie was repositioning the brand, all right, so kind of rebuilding his brand. Young Americans compositionally stands out from Bowie's prior recordings with the improvisational song structure containing 3 verses and refrains, a saxophone solo, a bridge, a breakdown, and 2 additional extended verses and refrains. All right, they say that the use of 4 major phrases flow together through the usage of dominant chords in a completely natural way. I enjoyed really the structure and sound that they put here, man. This thing was really moving. According to biographer Nicholas Pegg, Young Americans presents a rapid lyric sketching an Englishman's impressionist portrait of 20th century America. Production team The Matrix noted America as a bit like a teenager, brimming with energy and imagination, occasionally overstepping the mark, but always with a great sense of possibility. The title itself does not appear in the song, only the young Americans who run through the title doesn't appear in the song, only the young Americans who runs through the various myths to a point that by the end he does not know which ones to believe or follow. So an author interpreted the song in one way as this. He says, the portrait of a fantasy, the global dream of how it would feel to have life laid out before you in the land of plenty. Okay, the opening verse describes a frigid sexual encounter which took him minutes, took her nowhere. Peroni says the story informs listeners that issues related to sex and emotional impotence exist both outside and in mainstream society, while additional verses reveal the discriminations between race and social classes that exist in American society. So right here on Song Facts, it says Bowie never was a young American. He was born and raised in England. Bowie said that this was the result of cramming his whole American experience into one song. And I think that's really interesting when you think about it that way, right? If I had been somewhere else in the world, growing up here my whole life and spending time, and I don't know how many years of experience he had at this point in America, probably plenty. You kind of wonder, right, how different your life would be growing up anywhere, especially in a place that maybe you love, but you do end up realizing it, and you become a part of being able to see the good and the bad, right? The beautiful and the ugly about this different culture, this different society in a place in the world that you didn't grow up in. And you might come to wonder, like, what would my life be like had I grown up here? Had this been my world, man? And it feels like that is a bit of what's happening here as well, is he's laying out his life and saying, this is my experiences, this is the blanket right here. What would it have been like, right? What could have what could have been different? Well, I'd like to get your guys' take on it. Let me know what you think about Young Americans right here. Let me know what pieces you took out of it. I'd like to hear your guys' ideas on this one, man. Share those with me if you don't mind. I'd really appreciate that. David Bowie, I thought this was definitely, he's got fine pieces of work right here that I can't really judge side by side. I've heard 4 great songs from David Bowie. This one made me probably move the most, though. This one, yeah, I mean, this one definitely made me move a lot. So obviously got me dancing in my chair, man. I was vibing with this a lot. I really like the sound of this right here with David Bowie, and hearing him sing out a little bit more was very special as well. So hopefully you guys enjoyed rocking with me here today. Thank you so much for being with me here today. If you enjoyed, please let me know by liking, subscribing, checking out the descriptions down below for other ways you can help the channel, including becoming a member here on my Patreon, my YouTube, and donation requests if you so choose, man. Let me know what else you'd like me to do from David Bowie. I'd be happy to do that, man. Thank you so much, and I'll see you on the next one, guys. Peace.